Chapter 4, Susie is talking about Mr. Harvey and that he is getting rid of her body. And so he puts her body in a cloth bag and walks, it says, along his property line and is going to dispose of it. But first he goes to his house and he sets the cloth bag. So first he goes to his house and sets the cloth bag on the garage floor, and that leaves a dark mark because she was spilling out of it onto the concrete floor. She was not the first girl he killed. He knew to remove her body from the field, and he would watch the weather, and so he knew to kill her before rain so that the rain would come and wash evidence away or any kind of precipitation. He actually got quite good at murders and getting away with them. Mr. Harvey took a waxy orange sack of my remains into the sinkhole 8 miles from our neighborhood, the area that until recently had been dissolved safe for the railroad tracks and nearby motorcycle repair shop. In his car he played the radio station that looped Christmas carols during the month of December. He whistled inside his huge station wagon and congratulated himself, felt full up. Apple pie, cheeseburger, ice cream, coffee, full. Better and better he was getting now, never using an old pattern that would bore him, but making each kill a surprise to himself, a gift to himself. And then she says, the air inside the station wagon was cold and fragile. I could see the moist air when he exhaled, and this made me want to palpate in his stony lungs. He had her charm bracelet that he had taken off of her and stuffed into his pocket. So then he throws it into the sinkhole, which would be in a man-made lake. And then he went to a house, the Flanagan's house, and the Flanagans made their living by charging people to dump their appliances. So Mr. Harvey went there with the bag full of Susie and asked for them to dump it like it was just an appliance, and he paid $20. So he moved her from a bag into a safe and gave her to the Flanagans to sink. Then you learn that their father starts to suspect Mr. Harvey. He helps Mr. Harvey build a tent. And Mr. Harvey says, I'm sorry for your loss. And then her father sees Mr. Harvey carrying white cotton sheets, and all of a sudden it began to snow outside, and her father just looks up, or is talking to Susie, and says, I can hear you now. And what is it? And Susie focuses hard on a dead geranium in his line of vision and tries to make it bloom, and she said the geraniums in heaven bloomed, but the one on earth did nothing. And then her father looks over at the greenhouse where he sees Mr. Harvey with his arms full of white cotton sheets, and his father asked, what are those for? And Mr. Harvey said, tarps. And her father said, you know something? And Mr. Harvey met my father's glare, held them, but did not speak. They worked together, the snow falling, almost wafting down, and as my father moved his adrenaline race, he checked what he knew. Had anyone asked this man where he was the day I disappeared? Had anyone seen the man in the cornfield? He knew his neighbors had been questioned. Methodically, the police had gone from door to door. So now he's starting to suspect Mr. Harvey, and he whispers Susie's name, and Mr. Harvey just said, we just built a tent. The neighbors saw. We're friends now. You know something, my father said, go home, I can't help you. Mr. Harvey did not smile or step forward. He retreated into the bridal tent and left the final monogrammed white cotton sheets fall down. So that is the end of chapter 4, and her father is suspecting the right person, yet he doesn't have any solid evidence to yet prove that it's him. So we'll find out what happens in chapter 5 later.